am from Manhattan, New York City, Harlem specifically. So Harlem all day. I'm very prideful about where I'm from. So I love my community. And my
Mhm,
goal is really ultimately everything I do is to be able to give back to my community and show them that, you can come from quote unquote the hood and you can make something of
mhm,
yourself at any age, at any time, man, woman, child, anything. So being from New York, I studied up until high school. I actually left New York City to go to a boarding school in Pennsylvania. So I studied in Pennsylvania, a very rural community. I lived next to a farm, basically. And then from there, I went on to upstate Syracuse for college. So go SU, go Orange.
mhm,
And then while I was in Syracuse, so that's actually a bit of my story. So while I was in Syracuse, my junior year, I studied abroad in London. And that was when my first experience being in Europe. So like I was completely just enamored when I went to Europe and I was 20 years old. I lived in London in an apartment with four other friends of mine who I talk to this day. And that really opened my eyes to like, that was my first time like, going across, across the pond, quote unquote, like being overseas. So I was 20, I was bright eyed. I was like, oh wow, this is really cool. Like I ended up being in London, but we country hopped a lot. I went to like 10 different countries when I was,
wow,
during that time when I was 20. So that
mhm,
really started my love for travel. And I guess that became like my started being like, a passport stamp collector or whatever you
mhm,
want to call it. That was my
absolutely.
first stint of like, intensive travel. I mean, I had gone to like the Caribbean, of course, like my family, we would go to the Bahamas and Mexico, but prior to 20 years old, I had never really done such travel like that before. So that really opened my eyes to the world. And then that will lead me to where I am today.